Episode 310. We've been flashing back for a good few episodes now. A few more episodes than I originally planned, and maximum I thought it would be only 2. I mean, we're only going up to level 30 with these quests, but they've been pretty meaty ever since the level 10 quest. No, I guess ever since the level 5 quest. For the other classes, it feels like they have you doing some chump change stuff up until level 15. Then the last 15 levels of the class are just, something completely different from what you were doing for the first 15 levels. But I guess that's good. It's exciting all the way through. Let's try to make it an exciting finale for the flashback. The pretend flashback. Oh, and I've actually gone with the green coloration for Komoi after all. We sort of blend in a bit better now. Even if the scarf is something that I couldn't change the color of without changing the white below, it doesn't exactly change well into a green scarf. I was able to get this dye from the XIV vendor, as I expected it was actually in the Beast Tribe Society quest inventory stuff. And yeah, no way of dyeing just the scarf without dyeing the rest of it. So I think I'd rather keep the red so that I can keep the white, and I guess the red is fine. Maybe that marks us as a recruit or something. I was wondering when you'd show up, Komoi. Oh, we've been here the entire time. Haven't you noticed? We're just that good at hiding now. But bugger me if you don't look ready to mill an entire croissants by yourself. And Ben that you are, because we finally uncovered some hard facts about that last treasure. Won't be long now before we clear the win in peace and put this staff challenge to bed. Alright, I've gathered the other coves for a meeting. Let's get down to it. And for our first cutscene, we'll actually blend in with the rest of the coves. The coves, whatever. Yeah, I'd say we blend in pretty well. The white and the green, obviously. There's a little bit of red on the other two. Well, mainly on the stray. I think there's a little bit of red also on Underfoot. Can't really see it too well from this angle, but I'm pretty sure there's some there. How long will that last? The black sarcophagus has given up its secrets. Underfoot, you have some news for us? Hi, Jack. I think half our troubles and within the truth of it lay in calling this nasty thing a treasure. The black sarcophagus ain't no dimber bauble. It's the Mark 51 Magitech mine, a bleeding prototype explosive, or was bitten from an Imperial transport vessel. Okay, the name Black Sarcophagus I guess makes sense. It's I guess it spells death for everyone around it, or something like that. And even though it ain't that big, maybe the size of a small cargo box, they say the bastard have enough kick to incinerate a bloody behemoth. Okay, that's strong. Seems the Guardians meant to start production at their factory in Lanosia, then distribute the mines through Castrum Marinum. Lucky some plucky privateer cloyed the prototype en route, eh? An experimental weapon? That explains why the Salasakasi was so bleeding eager to bid at that auction, and so reluctant to share the details with us. Kind of weird that they're not sharing the details with us. I mean, I guess it makes sense for the reason they're giving. I don't know. At least now we know the what, but there's still the question of the where. The Curse delivered their bidding goods to the Reformists. That much is certain. What happened to the sarcophagus after that, though, we ain't so sure. There have been no reports of huge explosions or the like, so either the executioners still have the mine, or they've peddled it to some other buyer. Hopefully they're not like reproducing the bomb or something. They called it a prototype, so if it explodes once, that's not too bad. But if they're trading it to someone who's actually gonna like mass produce this, I don't know, it sounds like they're getting involved in like nuclear warfare or something. Buying and selling and distributing nukes or something. Maybe I'm just thinking in terms of Metal Gear for some reason. The Reformist faction came together out of their shared hatred for the Admiral and her ways. I'm guessing they didn't cloy that bomb just to sell it. What is it, Lonnie? A letter for you, Jack. Says it's urgent. A letter? Who's it from? The old man. I found it while I was sorting through our daily deliveries. Let's see now. Come to Talos, Deleos? Deleos. I have urgent news. I've never known the old man to summon a customer. No one's seen him at his usual haunts for a while, so do you reckon this is some rum morsel he's dug up just for us? Aye, could be. Cowboy, you and me are headed to Deleos. Underfoot, Ukebe, you're to take another stab at pinning down the location of the sarcophagus. I'm so glad we blend in with the rest of the group now. We feel like a proper recruit or something. Let's just pretend I was wearing this green ever since the second episode of our flashback. Or maybe ever since the first one. Yeah, I'm just retroactively pretending it. Just like I do with this flashback. Where is Deleos? What is that? No, that place? I guess I will have to come up with a reason for why Komori ditches this color and the daggers and everything when she moves to Ul'dah for the beginning of A Realm Reborn, and why she never picks it up until Stormblood, but I'm still working on that in the back of my head. I'll come up with some vague, loose reason for why it makes sense to me. That's really all I have to do, right? Just gotta satisfy myself with this. Okay. That looks bad. Quite the ambush they got. Wasn't enough. We could see their ambush coming a mile away, literally, the UI told us. You're wasting your time, darling. We opened that skag's wrinkled throat bells ago. No, the Black Marketeer. Grandpappy. You cross the bloody executioners and you get what's coming to you. Did you like our message? He wasn't sure you'd fall for it, but a little mystery goes a long way, eh? Ah, now don't be like that, darling. Me and me mates didn't have much choice. When the boss says go play with the rogues, then we gotta go play with the rogues. After all, we never asked you to come ruin our game, now did we? And don't give me no long-winded speech about your precious code. The Reformist vision stretches far beyond what them tired old rules is good for. Once Captain XIV takes command of the executioners, he'll give us back the teeth we lost when we submitted to the Admiral's leash. We'll be the terrors of the sea once more, free to rove and plunder in the new age of pirate glory. All that's at proof. And I'll bathe in blood to see that age come to pass. I'll kick down your shite stinking code, and have all your sneaky heads on the chopping block. Like hells you will. The only sentence what's being passed today is yours. Why, hello there, darling. Ain't you a fine-looking lad? I've heard all this prattle before. Free to pillage and plunder, is it? Aye, it all sounds grand. But you don't think of the price. That shite stinking code is the only thing what keeps you bloody codes from milling one another. Without it, without limps of the mincer to call home, you'd be adrift in an ocean of quarrels. But if you're so keen to keep company with the dead, I'll be sodden happy to oblige. You was prettier with your gob shut, but I can see I'm out of me depths here. As much as I'd like to lop off your noggins, I'll have to be satisfied with dragging the two of you out into the wilds. Kept you well out of the way, haven't I? Now with it then. Yeah, ain't it obvious? You stubborn scrags is looking to swipe my new toy, and my job was to stall you. The captain has the mine with him right now. He's set to show the rest of the executioners that he's got the stones to sit in the leader's chair. What better way to do that then executing the bit would snap the chains on our crew. Okay, well, is Merleweb actually going to appear in this questline? This is going to mess a lot with my whole flashback idea, if we meet Merleweb, quote-unquote 5 years in the past or something like that. But I guess we'll find out. He's targeting the Admiral herself. You're planning to blow up the command room, ain't ya? Aye, you have me permission to panic. Of course, if you'd rather steer clear of the city, I'd be glad to keep you company right here, sweet meat. Think you can stop Captain Isevere? If you spout yourself some wings, then you might still make it. We've got this mad Mort at our mercy, but she seems to be enjoying herself. I better drag her back to the guild and see what other information she'll spill. I'll need you back in Nimsa as well, but do business with the foremast first. You should find Captain Malala at her post there. Forget about the Sodden challenge and tell her everything we know. Unless me judgment's well off kilter, she'll do what needs to be done. She's really hamming it up. No, wait, over there? Why is she over there? Is that actually like the base of the Yellow Jackets? I guess it's like a pier that's right next to Limsa Lominsa. I thought they'd actually be like in Limsa Lominsa though. Or maybe that does actually count as Limsa. Like that pier over there. Actually, yeah, the bridges go over there. We just can't go there as part of the playable space. Like, right over here is where the playable space cuts off. Like, we can go over on this part of the land. And this bridge, like, connects, but we can't actually go up to that bridge. It's on a level the elevator doesn't go for us, pretty much. Or the stairs. Oh yeah, they do always hang out here. Oh, you're one of Jack's folks. Yeah, the recruit. You've come to steal the sorrows, have you? Well, you shan't have them. As you can see, they're safely cast upon my very own. You're not here for the earrings? That seems a little suspect. Kinda looks like she was trying to get the earrings for herself to wear. I mean, shouldn't she be returning those to the Admiral or something? I mean, not that she's actually doing that, I know she's not. It just feels like it would look bad for a high-up commander to do that sort of thing. The Admiral, you say? And you are sure these fiends are in possession of the sarcophagus? I must deploy more sentries at once. Do not think this voids our challenge, rogue. And you can relay as much to your impudent guildmaster. I suppose you can thank him for the warning as well. They are nice earrings, though. Apparently they increase your agility or something. I think that's what the stray told us. Vakebe. Does she prefer Vakebe or the stray? I don't know. Okay, that was actually a lot faster than the other quests were up until now. Which is maybe a good sign, I guess. We didn't want this to extend beyond, like, another episode. So after this should be the last quest for the rogue quest line. No time to explain. Not that we ever have to explain it to the tour guy. So, the jackets are on the move? Ben. I've been listening to that addled pirate cackle since I got her back to the sisters, but she's given us not what we didn't already know. And we know more than enough. I say we rally the rogues and go after that mine. The fort blows up in our months. Okay, that's a new word. I thought we were done with new words, but here's a new one all the same. Unless I've heard it before, but I guess Muns means town, or home. If the leader of the reformists, this Captain Isabir, is planning on milling the Admiral with a bang, then my guess is he'll be aiming to demolish the entire command room. You know the mizzenmast eye? The tower what holds the Drowning Wench and Bulwark Hall? The Admiral's bridge and her command room are right at the top of it. Yes, we've been there. In the future, that is. Komori the street urchin has never been that high up. In the past. For the flashback. Then you've got the district what surrounds the mizzenmast. That's the busy beating heart of the city. Even with the threat of an attack, you can't just seal it up in the blink of an eye and call the whole thing bomb. Try to explain the danger to the culls what live and work there, and then you'd have a frightened, stampeded mob on your fambles. Alas, our only option is to have eyes snelching every approach to the tower. I'll put the wood out to as many coves as I can, and spread them through the streets. Your job will be to cover the F castle. Just wait and see, Komori. We'll get this ice sphere, and his little bomb, too. Up there? Oh, right, the F castle. Yeah, I should recognize it based on this thing that I always teleport to. Never really thought about it, but I guess this would be like the aft and this is the 4 over here. Maybe? Because this is like the main building, so I guess it makes sense as a 4. So this would be the aft, like the building to the south of it, or whatever. Wasn't expecting a bomb threat for this questline. I was expecting a solo duty though. I was actually expecting one last quest. But we're getting one now. Okay, we had to wait until nighttime. All of the rogues have mobilized. We'll snelch that cove yet. Am I using the term right? The fog picked a grand night to roll in thick. This'll make things interesting. Our presence on the streets is far too thin. Where are the reinforcements I ordered? My apologies, Captain. There just aren't any more soldiers to spare. The bulk of our forces has already been assigned to guard not only the Admiral, but a number of other high-ranking personnel as well. Unacceptable. What could Commodore Rayner be thinking? They're dangerous criminals stalking the city as we speak. Call in squads from the outposts if you must, but I want to see our security tightened and the populace properly protected. But Captain, we can't be certain the pirates' plan hasn't changed. If we consider the possibility that they switched to a target outside the walls, it would only be folly to weaken those defenses. You've made your point, Sergeant. Return to your post. Once all is lost, it is far too late to question what one should have done. You seem troubled, sir. Perhaps I can be of assist. I've been dying to meet you, lass. Aye, keen to set eyes on the bold yellow belly would cost our crew a fortune in Uldon coin. You're an executioner? One of Icebeard's men? You've strayed too far into a world you don't understand, lass. Your eyes is fixed on the light of justice, leaving you blind to the chasm opening up at your feet. At least they'll say you died with your boots on. The yellow belly won't be bothering us no more, Captain. As for the mine, the lads will have it primed in front of the wench by the time you get there. Good. Not long now before we drag that bitch Admiral, her pretty tower, and all her simpering curs down to the bottom of the sea. Then I'll raise a flag on the ruins of the mizzenmast, and lead our brethren in a return to the old ways of blood and plunder. Should have not had that last bottle. Bottles? The whitefish gonna kill me. What's that then? She's moving? Okay. I thought she might have actually died, potentially. Not after the command room. They mean to bring down the entire tower. If the mizzenmast falls, the bridges will follow. Half the city will. Please, you must help me. The danger, far greater than we. Bloody hell, switch alive. Oh, no. I didn't see nothing. Didn't see nothing. Please, you must send word. Someone must be told. How did you? You're valiant and forthright weapon. You could hear that single pistol shot from arms away. We're hard to guess what happened. I poked the yellow jackets on my way over. The healer will be along shortly. A lot of L's and R's in healerol. It's hard to pronounce that. Healerol. Whatever. Then, that means we've only got one last thing to do. We have never been allies, but I beg of you. You must stop them. Save the city. Ah, lass, you know you don't need to ask. Taking down mad codes and biting back, always bitten is our job. You all set then? Ready, Jack? Always. I guess the one thing we're missing is a bandana. That's fine. But let's go cloy that sarcophagus and fit Icebeard for a new coffin. We'll pretend recruits get a scarf, a red scarf, to mark them as recruits. And when they're done being recruits, they get promoted and get a bandana. Makes sense to me. Where's the sound? There's the sound. It's weird for a second. Don't have the AoE yet. What level do you unlock the AoE if I don't have it yet? I guess we are synced down to level 34. Oh, nope, there goes our sneak attack. Okay, now let's hide. Sneak attack. No, wait. There goes our sneak attack again. How'd they spot us? Oh, that's the bomb? That looks like a bomb. It also looks like a sarcophagus, or a coffin, I guess. Alright, they've got it. Wait, the detonators are... where? I might have missed it. Not that. There it is, okay. They are marked. Alright. Should have been sneaking there. That's fine. I guess I had this guy's aggro, so I couldn't exactly sneak. Alright, that's one. Probably one below. Fun mission. We're kind of sneaking off and doing the side objective. As a rogue should, I guess. We still got, like, aggro on the other stuff. I guess we didn't have to fight this guy, did we? "90 seconds? That's bad. You know, I thought there'd be more time than this. I mean, there's a timer in the top right. Yeah, they warned us about 3 minutes, a little bit earlier, but didn't quite catch that until the 90-second timer just popped up on screen. Was there a 3-minute timer on screen? It probably was. Come on, they've got this. Has to be over here. Can't exactly sneak for this. Just target the detonator first. Oh. Okay, it does go down quickly. Oh wait, that's it. Okay. I feel like we don't really get things like this in the middle of town, like these kinds of quests. Obviously we are getting one right now, but usually they reserve that for, I don't know, main story stuff, or maybe not even then. Status report. The mine has been disabled, and the engineers should soon have it safely removed. Our soldiers sustained some injuries in the battle with the reformists, but none were fatal. Also, the Admiral sends her sincerest gratitude. Okay, I'm glad she didn't make an actual appearance, because that would just mean hell for my flashback if she talked to us. Look, there she is. That's Captain Malala. the hero of the Salominsa. Are you recovered from your wound, Captain? We heard how you nearly lost your life, stopping that horde of pirates from blowing up the mizzenmast. 3 cheers for the Yellowjackets. Our city'd be lost without you. But wait, that's not how it... Sergeant, what of the rogues? Did they survive the battle? I don't rightly know, Captain. All we found near the sarcophagus were reformists, either dead or strung from the rafters. Alive, then. It would seem we are deeply in their debt. Captain, might I have the silver sorrows from you now? We've been ordered to hand them over to the Commodore, along with the black sarcophagus. Why, of course, they're right. Oh, didn't even notice. The earrings. I could have sworn I was still... He wouldn't have. He stole them from me while I lay dying. Yeah, pretty funny. That cad. I knew he was not to be trusted. Keep an eye on them indeed. I should have known. Are you sure about this, Jack? We should have closed the sarcophagus as well. And now he's wearing them. You didn't really have to do that. I think she's earned it, don't you? If it bothers you that much, think of it as a trade. If you ask me, they look a bit daft. Well, I didn't ask you. So the jackets ended up with the mine, and we got the diamond and the earrings, which means victory belongs to the Rogues Guild. Can we have those earrings? Actually, that's a good question. I'm not sure how many items in the game are even, like, character-specific, or rather, not character-specific, like unique models that the players can't get. One of the things that had me wondering that, like in a previous thing, was Nashu's earrings. She wears, like, these Sphene, or earrings that share the same model as the Sphene earrings, of which there are several different colors. But Nashu Makaraka's specific shade of pink earrings are ones that I don't think exist anywhere in the game other than on Nashu. Or at least there might be some in the game that I haven't really found yet, but if they were, they'd have to be like from a dungeon or something, cause the ones that you can get that are maybe a bit close in color are just kind of the wrong shade, and I don't know, I don't think you can buy them from like the usual stores that you get those earrings from. But this isn't really here nor there. It's just a thought I had. And I'm not sure if you can actually get the same model of the earrings that Jack is wearing for, like, whatever purposes. Who cares? Do you think Malala will leave it at that, then? I get the feeling we ain't done with her yet. I'd say we're done with her challenge, but you never know when our paths will cross again. We'll just have to see what Limsa's underbelly spits up next. Aye, the city ain't ever quiet for long. Well, it's been a pleasure working with you, Komoi. If you ever need, or if I ever need, a trusty pair of stabbers by me side, I'll know who to ask. I'm off as well. Bloody starving I am. Don't forget to yaffle a bite when you can, eh, Komoi? If we remember what yaffling is. We'd best head back to the sisters too, before the shrew decides she'd rather hear us cry cockles. Don't know what that means either. Man work, Komoi. Be seeing you soon. Okay, that was cool. We're still a recruit, if you evaded our notice like that. Alright, cool. And now it's nighttime. Just like it was in the cutscene. So let's see, how does this like transition into the ninja stuff? Because I gotta end the flashback at some point, and I'm trying to find the best cutoff point, I guess. Oh there, Komoy. It'll be nice to finally have a bit of rest, eh? The job never ends, but even a dimber damber like myself needs to breathe every now and again. And your veteran mates must be wondering where you got to. That was a proper long assignment, but I'm glad you decided to see it through. Okay, we don't have veteran mates. We'll just pretend he's talking about the other Lalafell, street urchins that I pretended Komoy runs around with in Nimsalaminsa. Maybe she'll spread the teachings of the code to them and then no longer be a nuisance to the Laminsan public. Or maybe they will be, I don't know. You've proven to be a stalwart protector of the code, even if this ain't truly your world. When you walk back into the Lightmans... Okay, so if there's a Darkmans, there has to be a Lightmans. Makes sense. You'll have to find your own code to uphold. Okay, wait. I can work with that. That works, okay. And when you do, you'll have the skills you learned in the shadows to help you defend it. Perfect segue, thank you, Jack. Well, that's more than enough prattle out of me. Your travels might take you far and wide, Komoy, but know you're always welcome here, at the Sisters. Great. It's already forming in my head. Alright, so, this next thing is how we advance to ninja. So we'll leave that for the future, but based on what he said about, like, leaving the Rogues Guild, basically, and going back to the Lightmans, or however he put it, to sync up with the rest of the timeline or whatever, I guess we can take that as we can pretend that if we were saying that he took us under his wing to sort of steer us on the right path, no longer pickpocketing the Laminsan public and all that, then maybe he never intended for us to be part of the Rogues Guild forever. And this was just like a temporary thing. Now he's setting us free, telling us to go back to the Lightmans and go on our own paths. And then I guess Komoy decides to abandon the green uniform, just so that any of her actions don't get associated with the rest of the Rogues Guild. In case she runs afoul of anyone, I guess. Maybe she doesn't want to besmirch the good name of the Rogues Guild or whatever. Maybe she has some kind of begrudging respect for them, even though she'd never admit it. So right, we had our flashback right over here. And let's see. So after all of this, I guess Komoy goes back to her little street urchin gang of Lalafell pickpockets, and kind of spreads the word about the code to them, and maybe everyone decides to kind of grow up and go their own separate ways, and that's the story of how they disbanded in the first place, I guess. And then sometime after that, maybe she's having trouble making a living without being able to steal from the innocent civilians of Limsa, so she decides to try to take up an honest living over in Ul'dah by becoming a gladiator, or something like that. And then maybe to secure passage over to Ul'dah, she has to sell one of her 2 daggers, and that's why she only has the 1 sword as a gladiator when she's riding in on the carriage to Ul'dah at the beginning of the video game. Does that make sense? I mean, whether it's 1 sword or 1 dagger, it doesn't really make a difference, I guess. We can pretend that she uses the dagger as a sword or something like that. And that's why she doesn't like using shields. She feels like she can't use a shield because, in the other hand, belongs a second sword or a second dagger. Yeah. I guess we're retconning the whole thing of her not using a shield as a gladiator, as her being used to using 2 daggers or 2 swords instead. It's a pretty loose explanation, but I guess the change from rogue with 2 daggers to gladiator with 1 sword and no shield sort of makes sense. Kind of, if you squint your eyes really hard. And I guess we can also pretend that's why she's so bad at being a gladiator when we start the game in A Realm Reborn. Because she's so used to using 2 daggers and then she only has the 1 sword. I guess it kind of links up. I can pretend. I'm pretending super hard. And now we'll pretend to flash back to the future, where we kept Alphinaud and the others waiting for quite some time. And we're back. Back in the future where Komoi is the warrior of light. What a long, pointless endeavor that was, but it's fun. It's fun to pretend sometimes. I guess the one gap in the story is that I can't really imagine why Komoi would never use the two knives or any of her rogue skills up until now, but I guess we can just say being a black mage is that much more stronger in general, maybe when dealing with primals and stuff. But now Komoi thinks she'll take back up the daggers to deal with Xenos and anything else that might be better dealt with within melee range, I guess. And actually on that note, maybe it also makes sense that we didn't use the daggers in Heaven's Ward. I guess I was also pretending that Komoi's magic was sealed away or something by poison or whatever loose excuse I had back then. Just so that I could pick up Machinist, but maybe that also makes sense that we didn't use the daggers back then because we were dealing with dragons, so using Machinist probably makes more sense than using the two daggers. We also kinda said that we weren't using Gladiator for the same reason, so yeah. Now's a good time to pick back up on Rogue, and eventually Ninja. But we'll do that in a second. Let's continue with the main story first. Blackmail, is it? This is a dangerous game the two of them are playing. What guarantee do we have that Carvalane won't just throw us overboard? I'm not sure what just happened. I could have sworn he was about to turn us away, but then he changed his mind. Right, we were dealing with Carvalane up until now, and that's right. We were pretending that he was still taking some few days to, prepare the voyage all the way over to Hingashi. So I think there should be a good segue to actually pick up the ninja quest line after doing this quest. We're not going to have to pretend to do another flashback or anything. We're done with that. But we do have to continue the main quest for me to find this segue, I think. Tales from the Far East. Yeah, that should be a proper segue. I say we should heed the captain's advice and attend to our own preparations while they ready the vessel for departure. I guess it would have made more sense if I started this quest and had everyone else do this dialogue here so that they could be doing their own preparations while we were having that flashback. But hindsight is 20/20, I guess. Tataro and I will procure the necessary supplies. Alise, I should be grateful if you would use the time to brief Uyandra on recent developments. You may also wish to review the relevant safety procedures in the event of an emergency at sea. How very prudent of you. Very well, I shall go and speak with him. What of Komoi and Lise? I would like the two of you to return to Revenant's Toll and speak to our Doman allies. I fear we know too little of their homeland, and any information they can provide would be most welcome. When we have completed our respective tasks, we will reconvene here at the ferry docks. Agreed? Sounds like a plan. Let's go, Komoi. I guess we can say while we're doing this, maybe Komoi is asking around how to undertake becoming a ninja or something. Well, here we are. We'll need to talk to lots of people, so I think we should split up. I'll ask around the House of Splendors. You take the Rising Stones. I'll meet you here after, got it? Just had to check what the quest was. I wasn't sure if this was the quest that I was thinking would segue well. I did look a little bit ahead to see if the quest would line up the way that I wanted to with this whole job stuff. But I'm pretty sure this is the quest, and after we do this one, that's when I think we'll segue nicely into taking on Ninja. Greetings, Komoi. What brings you to the toll this day? What? You are here for you are for Doma? Heavens. You signs have shown us naught but kindness, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine you would fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and then we spied an opportunity. The Emperor, dead, Garlemald in chaos. It seemed the time was ripe. Beneath our Lord's banners we gathered, and fought to reclaim our nation. But when Xenos arrived with the 12th Legion, it was over in an instant. Lord Kyan was a good man who cared only for his people. Though it pained him to kneel to Garlemald, he did so for our sake. And for our sake, he would willingly have endured that ignominy for another 25 years, had we not beseeched him to act. But we convinced him that we could win, that we could defeat Xenos and the Empire, and for our failure, he paid the ultimate price. Lord Kyan. Is that... It must be... Well, we'll meet that character later. It must be his father, I think. The Tau has entrusted me with the remainder of her responsibilities in her absence. Should you require aught, pray do not hesitate to ask. I don't think her dialogue changed, so... Probably we're just talking to the Domans and... Well, I guess that's everyone that's actually in the building. It's just the Domans right now. Naught would bring me greater joy than to join you on your journey. However, Lady Yugiri made it clear that we're to remain here, and safeguard the community we have built. What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask. That you go to join Yugiri and Gosetsu in the fight fills me with such joy. Forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We of the Nagai clan have served Doma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions within Doma Castle even. Now it is home to the Imperial Voiceroy's witch. Right, the witch. And her hosts of men and Magitech. To think that what was once the shining symbol of our heritage, and the seat of dear Lord Kyan, has become a den for Garlean dogs. Doma was all but wiped from the face of Othard. Only Doma Castle, seat of our Lord and symbol of all that we were, was spared the wages of war. Yet for the blessing that is, the thought of that witch and her sycophants claiming it for their own fills me with unspeakable anger. We'll meet that witch soon enough. No, I guess Isildur isn't a Doman, but he kind of associates with Home quite a lot. If Doma knows peace in our time, I should like to see it with my own eyes. Perhaps partake of these hot springs Home tells me of as well. His dialogue hasn't changed either. You are truly planning to travel to Doma? I do not know what to say. Forgive me. I shall aid you to the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land, nestled on the eastern coast of Othard. Along the banks of the One River, our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Garleans came 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and to fish. But travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to no one. There she is. Or where is she? She's outside. There you are. Learn anything interesting? The older Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about Far Eastern customs, and the importance of formality and politeness. I like to think Eorzeans can be just as stiff and stuffy as anyone, especially Ishgardians, but anyway. Did you know that they eat with sticks? It wasn't all that hard actually, or at least, that's what I thought until they told me I was holding them wrong. And then when I spoke with the younger Domans, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was all a load of stupid old... Wow, what you learned sounds a lot more useful. Unless someone invites us for dinner, of course. I hope they do. Been a while since I heard this music. We spent so much time in flashback mode. Right, no point waiting around here, is there? We should head back to Limsa Lominsa. Alfred said to meet at the ferry docks, I think. Was this the quest that actually moves forward? Wait. Is this the right segue? Well, we'll just go over there and find out, I think. There should be like a clear delineation point. I thought there was maybe one more quest after this, but this might be the quest that actually leads into the next thing. I guess I didn't research as hard as I should have. But who cares, right? We don't need to research everything here. It's all for the purposes of what I call clean segues, but they're never that clean in the first place. Yeah, this looks like it's the thing that advances to the next thing. Oh well. We'll just finish up the dialogue here and then, make the segue on our own, I guess. It's times like these I'm glad that we've got Tatar taking care of business. An army marches on its stomach. Tatar took that lesson to heart. A surfeit of sumptuous foods, wondrous sundries, plenty of clean undergarments. Yes, I do believe we have everything we need for a lengthy voyage. You have returned, Komoi. I trust you learned much from our Domin friends in Revenant's Toll. I am eager to hear all, but that can wait until after we have left port. We'll have enough time, or time enough, to talk on our journey to Kugane. Our spice trading friends have completed their preparations. No, they haven't. Don't say that. Okay, yeah. I missed my segue point. I guess my segue should have been after we finished the quest with Lise and before we accepted the next quest with her. But that's fine. We'll just say they haven't finished their preparations yet. Assuming you have completed yours, you may inform the deckhand that we are ready to depart. No, we haven't completed our preparations. No one here has completed their preparations, okay? Okay. So let's go over this way. And I guess now Komoi, with the extra time that we're pretending that she has, is going to once again take up the rogue class. And I think we can actually wear this same clothes, can't we? Yeah. We're wearing the old clothes just for the sake of the flashback or whatever. But luckily all the clothes that we're wearing right now isn't actually specific to Black Mage or whatever, other than this, the actual weapon. So there. This is kind of a fitting look for a rogue. We've also got like the hat on. I guess it looks fine for the rogue, but we'll take it off for now. Or wait. We're gonna start doing some ninja stuff. Maybe I want to keep it on? I'll consider it for the next episode. Alright, I guess I should actually just teleport back there, though. Alright, so here's the story. Komoi is no good with these knives, or at least she's no good with them compared to her Black Mage stuff. But the idea that she has, now that she has magic and everything, maybe she can combine her dagger play with her magic, and somehow, I don't know, do something with that. I'm pretty sure that's what a ninja is, right? They use like ether to do their mudras or whatever. So maybe that's the idea that Komoi has, and it's exactly what she's going to get when she marches into the Rogues Guild to tell them about that idea. A very unclean segue, but a segue nonetheless. Ah, Komoi. Keeping your stabber sharpened, I hope. Yeah, how long has it been? 5 years? We're pretending? 'Cause I've got a job to be done, and I reckon the Dimber Damber would put the executioners on the chopping block is just the one to do the doing. My men have sighted some shifty types around Wineport of late. Not code-breaking curs, so far as I know, and that's the rub. We don't know half as much about them as I'd like. They claim to be simple peasants, refugees from some far-flung realm, but I don't know many peasants would skulk about in the Darkmans as much as they've been doing. As long as they're not breaking the code, they can do as they please, but being who we are, it falls to us to look into the matter and make sure that all's Bob. As my gut tells me this may be a two-rogue job, I sent Underfoot on ahead. So pull on your best beater cases, head to Wineport, and meet him there. Alright, off to Wineport. No wait, that's the main quest. There we go. Komoy, when Jack said he'd be sending one of the guild's canniest morts along after me, I had a feeling it might be you. I'd love to tell you old Underfoot's already whittled the whole scrap on our friends, but the truth is I've turned up more questions than answers. They seem to hail from the South Sea Isles, from the little birds at Milvan's Gate, so to the last man that's some piss-poor memory. There's no record of any such ship sailing into port. It looks like it falls to you and me to take a closer snail chase. Hope you brought your sharpest stabbers, as there's no telling who we're... Right, our stabbers, I forgot. Did you hear that, lass? Either old Underfoot's gone daft, or some mort just screamed out for dear life. Someone tells me our little task is about to take a turn for the interesting. What do you say we go see what's what? Yeah, I kind of forgot. Like, that's part of the glamour, too. Well, I'll worry about it after this, I guess. I meant to get like a special glamour for these knives, but I'll do that in between episodes. Okay, what's going on here? Have mercy. I'm but a simple milkmaid. There's not a single guild to my name. Rest easy, lass. My friend and I don't mean you no harm. Though I must say you've got me curious. Just what in the name of the 12 happened here? I had just come to town to purchase some supplies. No sooner had I walked through the gates than I was suddenly accosted by 3 burly drunkards, who demanded I hand over all of my possessions. To my good fortune, it seems the men had partaken a bit too heavily. When they saw the meager contents of my coin purse, they began to squabble among themselves. The fistfight ensued, and before I knew it, the 3 men were lying on the ground as you see them now. Sounds like Nemea smiled upon you today, lass. Though might I suggest you be a bit more careful on your next visit. All manner of scurvy sorts frequent these parts, and you'll find that not all of them are blundering lackwits like your friends here. Thank you for your concern, good sir, and rest assured that I will take your words to heart. Good day to you both. Very funny. Well, Komoy, had the girl's words strike you? She seemed like an upright lass. Komoy is none the wiser. You reckon? As for me, I've got some questions. Squabbling amongst themselves? Just look. There's barely a scratch on any of these louts. I'd wager there's more to the rum doxy than she's letting on. Come, let's go on the drag and see what she might be hiding. Wow. It feels very ninja-esque already. That one shot of the bat flying across. Is that like a ninja familiar or something? A Komoy. And a right mess we've got here. You reckon these coves got the wrong side of our lass? One thing's for sure, they're no more peasants than you and I. One look at those stabbers tells me as much. I have failed. I beg of you, take this, and return it to Master Oboro, to Lady Tsubame. It's too late. The poison's dead. As for this stone, your guess is as good as mine. A lucky charm of sorts, mayhap. Any road we'd best start moving our dew beaters afore the lass gets away. Her footprints lead in the direction of Upper Lenosia. I'll just continue with this quest until we reach the end of it and do the rest of the ninja quest starting next episode. There you are. She hides behind a tree, as if that could hide her from me. Ninja. Okay, that is a bit familiar. She didn't really think she could fool me with those silly rags, did she? Or did she? Perhaps she's not as clever as we believed. What the hell was that little dance? Can we have that emote? That's a good one too. And a mysterious savior rushes to the damsel's defense. Such bravery. Such compassion. Okay, I didn't know if the comedy would continue into the ninja quest line. It seems like it is. Such folly. Little does she know that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. And right on cue, Oboro the Dim leaps onto the scene to save his dear little swallow in the most unsurprising surprise attack the realm has ever seen. Ninja. Cease your ramblings, Karasu. Crow, before I rip that tongue from your bloody beak. Yao, our hero, is wounded, a stab through the heart. His childhood friends stand before him, blades drawn and hate in their eyes. Oh, the tragedy of it all. The audience sobs. And what's this? A couple of bit players who have forgotten to leave the stage? Did no one tell them their part in the play is long since over? Oh ho! And the faceless rogue shows surprising skill. Perhaps she has yet a role to play with, or a role to play. I will say this much. Unlike a certain someone, at least you, intrigue me. But other matters demand our hero's attention, and so the first act must draw to a close. Come, my pet. What a character. Incredible. Wait, Karasu. Ever quick to retreat, that one. The two from Mineport. Did you follow me here? Beg pardon, miss. My friend and I are here on behalf of the dutiful sisters. And you, sister, have some questions to answer. I've lived on the underbelly of society long enough to recognize when a man's more than he seems. So make this easy for us, lass. Just who exactly are you? And what are you doing here? And here's hoping, for both your sakes, that it doesn't involve breaking no code. So you are the rogues of whom Lady Yukiri spoke. Forgive me. We were remiss in not seeking you out sooner. Very well. You shall know there is all to know. Know all there is to know. And here it's finally okay for them to mention Lady Yugiri, because it's no longer a flashback. What a stupid idea that was. My name is Oboro, and she is Tsubame. We hail from a village in Doma, several thousand moms across the sea. We are... but perhaps you have no word for what we are. In our own tongue, one might call us shinobi. Doma, the imperial province, for now. The same, though it did not have to be so. Our countrymen fought with honor against the might of Garlemald. What we lacked in number, we made up for with martial prowess. It was a battle we could have won, had we not been betrayed by one of our own. our every secret, our every move known to our foe. The tide of battle turned on the morrow. Thousands of our countrymen were slaughtered, and at day's end, Doma remained under the imperial yoke. The traitorous Kerr joined the imperial ranks as chief of their covert operations, or so they say. That is the man you just met, Karasu, though I am loath to call him a man. To this day he whispers in the ears of the Guardians, making a mockery of those who once called him friend and brother, but no longer. We have come to Eosia at our village elder's behest to see that Karasu pays for his crimes, with his life. Come to mill a treacherous rook who blew the gab on his comrades? You sound like a right Ben Cove. Consider all underfoot impressed. Forgive me. This land and its tongue are still new to us. No, that's okay. You don't have to learn this particular dialect. It's completely useless anywhere else. Nonetheless, we were able to lure Karasu here, but more than a few of our comrades gave their lives in the effort. And now this. Was their sacrifice for naught? Where'd we get that? Oh right, the stone we picked up. Oh, you have my gratitude. When one of our kind falls, tradition dictates that we return their soul to the village, that it may rest with our ancestors. What? Our fallen brother's soul calls out to this woman. Could it be a sign? Are we fated to fight as one? I would make you an offer. We will instruct you in our art, the art of ninjutsu. In return, you will share with us your knowledge of this land, that it might serve us in our mission. But Oboro, she is not Domin. She is not of the village. Look around you, Tsubame. Our brothers and sisters are fallen or gravely wounded, and today's failure makes it all too clear. We cannot hope to stand against Karasu without knowing the lay of the land. Can't say I'm thrilled at the prospect of losing a Denver Damber like yourself, but else, in my younger days, I'd been keen to try my fams at some of those techniques myself. And the more my waddles take in, the more these two strike me as Benner and Benner folks. If you're keen to lend them your daddles, I'll not be the one to stand in your way. If you would know more, come to the Dock Storehouse at Raincatcher Gully. We shall await you there. Who would have figured, eh? Any road, the choice is yours, Komori. In the meantime, I'm going to head back to Limsa and report to Jack before he comes and gives me a good clout in the knob. Alright, Raincatcher Gully Docks. Not far from here. Well, I guess we have to teleport. Seems like this quest was longer than I gave it credit for. Probably should have found something else to kill the rest of the time in the episode. But we're here now. Tradition forbids us from sharing our art with those from outside our village. In watching you hold your own against Karasu today, we dodged one shuriken, but okay. I cannot deny your potential. And so we meet again. Am I to take your presence to mean that you have chosen to accept our offer? Yes. Thank you. I speak not only for myself and Tsubame, but for our entire village when I say, you have our profound gratitude. What I would tell you next, I would tell you out of the earshot of strangers. Byakubu has been instructed to let only trusted villagers through these doors behind me. When he speaks to you, Ayame, you are to answer Kaede. You need not know what the words mean, only that they will grant you entrance. Ayame. Kaeru. Go home. Be gone. No, Kaede. Enter. So this was here the entire time. It's like the Rogues Guild all over again, like a hidden place that only a special job can access. Funny. Welcome, friend of Oboro. What is it you would ask of me? We'll ask that later, once we get properly into the ninja stuff next episode. Welcome, Komoi. You stand within the provisional base of operations my people have established in your land of Eosia. It may not look like much, either without or within, but that is precisely the point. We find it an ideal vantage point from which to observe the comings and goings of Karasu and his men without attracting undue attention to ourselves. My fallen brother saw you as a worthy inheritor to his soul. To honor his memory, I entrust it to you. But soul alone will not make you a shinobi. No, this will require training of the body and mind. Our art, the art of ninjutsu, originated with our ancestors many years ago. Since then, it has been passed down with each generation, mother to daughter, father to son. We draw power from the world around us, the heaven, the earth, and the hearts of man, and channel this power into a physical form. I am told that this is similar to your concept of Aether, was it? I must confess the Eorzean words and ways remain unfamiliar to me. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, Komoi never used the rogue skills of the daggers up until this point, because magic was just far more applicable in any situation up until now. But now she has a chance to combine magic with the rogue stuff. And that's our segue. That's the story we're going with. It's basically bullshit, but we're going with it. How does one channel this power, you ask? Through the use of mudra, hand gestures that call forth each of the 3 forms of energy of which I spoke. The first mudra I will teach you will call power from the heavens. In Doma, we call this 10. You're eager to learn, yes? Attune your soul to that of my fallen brother, then approach me once more. It is then that your training will begin. Alright, ninja unlocked. The soul of the shinobi awakens within you. Alright, I'll read through all of that on my own, but we are over on time this episode, so let's just find a good place to call it quits for now. Is there like a private room for us? This'll work. Private enough, I guess. No wait, gotta do this because we're a rogue. So we're on the path to becoming a ninja. We're doing this while waiting for Carveline to get his boat ready for our big trip over to Doma. I don't care what Alphinote said, they're still not ready yet. And while they're still getting ready, there's plenty of time to do the entire ninja quest, up to level 50 and 60 I guess. And then we'll be ready to continue the main story again. That's the plan anyway. That would be a good time to take a break.